Yo, everyone. Welcome. Sorry for the lack of content this month. I know last stream it got heavily political due to the situation that is going on. I'm going to try to actually talk about the subjects I originally wanted to discuss. So, for the sake of this stream, I'm going to be talking about the non-political stuff first to get it out of the way. And if there's anything of interest that I want to talk about, or anything that I feel like needs to be discussed regarding politics, I'll discuss that like after that. So without further ado, I'm just gonna be talking about the situation that I think a lot of you were asking me about last stream regarding the 3DS and Wii U eShops shutting down and not being able to buy games from those shops anymore. And even at some point, these companies, these Nintendo especially, make it so you'll no longer be able to purchase these games, and then you'll no longer be able to, add funds to purchase these games. I'm just gonna say this. Last year I discussed the Sony, shutdown of the PSN stores with the PlayStation 3 and PSP and Vita. But I feel like this is a topic I would like to discuss, considering the fact that I think it perfectly illustrates how capitalism, you know, doesn't give a shit about preserving like art in general. And I know some people may not want to hear this, but video games are art. Video games are art. There's a lot of fucking games that are not, easy to come by. And I know some people are going to type, yeah, I know, emulators. Okay. For regarding emulators, I'm just going to be blunt regarding that. Emulators of games from Atari all the way to, Super Nintendo is easy to emulate. Any PC in the modern day has no trouble running a Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. But when you get past, 3D in terms of emulation, things get more complicated. The emulators, for some of these, systems are still haven't been perfected, and there's still problems. Like examples, DS. DS emulation has come a long way, since it was, first done over a decade ago, but there's still some games that have a difficult time running. And those games that Nintendo currently offers, it's the easiest and most convenient way to play these games. Unless you have a hacked 3DS, which I'm not going to condone. I'm not going to basically condemn people who do it because, be honest, fuck it. But I'll get to that later in this stream. Whatever I say about Nintendo could also apply to Sony, because eventually, don't fool yourselves, they will shut down the PlayStation's, network store on PS3 and Vita. It's only a matter of time when they will do that, because there's a lot of games on the PlayStation, 3 you're never going to be able to find, easy. Like a lot of Atlas games that have not gotten a re-release, such as, many of the Shikigami Tensei games, excluding Shikigami Tensei, Nocturne, which you can easily find now on Steam, Switch, and PS4. A lot of those games have never gotten a re-release. In fact, a lot of RPGs on the PlayStation Network have yet to get a re-release. Can you emulate them on your PC? Yes. But PS2 games, like I said earlier, are not a lot. The emulation has come a long way, but there's still issues. You need a powerful PC to run a lot of these games. Yeah, they're PS2 games. I know people are going to type in who are far more tech savvy than I am. But the the higher, the graphic fidelity of a game is, the more powerful a PC is required in order to run these games and run them well. So, yeah. Now, how does this apply to the 3DS and Wii U? Well, for the Wii U, let's talk about the games on the Wii U. I am not going to lose any sleep over the Wii U games, most of them no longer being available, because majority of the games that are worth anything, with the exception of Xenoblade X, you can find on the Switch now relatively easily. With digital purchases and physical, you could find them easy. I mean, Bayonetta 2, you could play on the Switch. Mario U, you could play on the Switch. Mario 3D World, you can play on the Switch. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, you can play on the Switch. A lot of these games I'm talking about, you can play on the Switch. And hell, you even have like Mario Maker 2, a superior version of a game that the Wii U has. You could already play it, a better version. Mario Kart 8, a better version. Like majority of these games, you could get on the Wii U and they're better. But the problem is not those games. It's actually the games that have yet to get a re-release, or games that you can only purchase on the Wii U. And like I'm referring to like Wii virtual console games, because there's still some games on the Wii that you could still buy on the Wii U that you can't buy on the Switch. It's actually easier to actually get Mario Galaxy on the Wii U than it is on the Switch, because the Switch, unless you bought it digitally or physically, when Nintendo did their stupid Disney Vault shit with the Mario Anniversary Collection, you're shit of luck. The only way you're able to get 2 of those 3 games is to buy them, on the Switch. I mean, Wii U. Yeah, you can play Mario 64 right now on their shitty service, but being able to actually play the game without actually being tied to a service, I'd rather have that. I mean, I know a lot what I'm talking about is not really relevant, but people, kind of want to hear about it because whatever. I mean, there's a lot of games I know if you own some of these games physical, which I don't know if some of you do, then it's not going to be a problem. But I'm just saying that accessibility to these games are going to become a lot harder going forward, and I think people need to look and realize the digital only future is not looking really bright when these games can be taken from us from at any time, and these greedy capitalists that owns these games, they could take it from us anytime they wish. They don't have to, give us any reason. I mean, license could expire for some of these games. I mean, Scott Pilgrim versus the World wasn't available for years until it was re-released recently. And the re-release eventually will not be available either. The upcoming TMNT game, Shredder's Revenge, that's going to be removed at some point in the future, even before like the eShop gets shut down, long before then. And I think people need to realize you don't owe shit regarding these consoles. And the only way you're going to be able to continue playing these games long past what these companies are willing to give them to you We're going to have to resort to piracy. And you know what? I don't give a fuck. Evan's going to say this. I would encourage you to pirate the games, even if they're new. Because we don't owe these fucking companies a goddamn thing. We don't owe them shit. Seriously, I think piracy is morally correct. I truly think it is, considering, the business practices of these companies, considering how the majority of these companies treat their, workers. Who gives a fuck if we, pirate their games? I mean, seriously, who gives a shit? And I know, I'm going to get the typical bootlicking, oh, but so you support these people working for free? No, I think they should be paid a fucking living wage. I don't fucking think, it should be up to me to fucking pay money for an overpriced fucking piece of shit of a game. And why should I be expected to do that? When majority of the games that I fucking buy are over, they sell are overpriced. Like, fucking seriously, $70 goddamn dollars for a fucking video game, and with this digital fucking distribution, a good shot. Some of these games will stay $70 even years after the fucking fact. I mean, digital only future is fucking bullshit. I mean, and we all know fucking Nintendo fucking never lowers their price for their games. Almost never. If you think Nintendo won't charge $70 for games eventually, you're fucking fooling yourself. They will do it. Just like Sony, just like Microsoft. Yeah. Nintendo, it may be the last one to actually do it a lot of the time, but they'll eventually turn around and do it. Their next console, they'll charge $70 for a game, and the fucking bootlicking Nintendo fucking fanboys will like, oh, but if games cost more now. They blah 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 blah. It's like, and what of it? Fucking food costs more now. Fucking rent costs more now. Gas prices cost more now. What's your excuse? Oh, you have none. These companies have been wanting to raise the prices for games for years. And they want to make it so. That's why do you think they want a digital only future? Why? Because so they can decide when you get to play the games, how you get to play the games, and how you play, and where and how you get their games. Of course, the average fucking person in the gaming community doesn't fucking have critical thinking skills because, oh my God, I don't want to hear about this. I just want to play my video games. It's like, you know what? Stephanie Sterling, they have fucking balls doing what they do. They fucking have balls. And I mean that, I mean by balls, I mean they actually say the shit that most people in the gaming who are in the gaming community won't fucking say because they're too much of a fucking coward or too comfortable, in their middle class white privilege to actually think things outside of their hobby. Don't get me wrong. I'm a gamer too. I've been playing video games since I've been like 4 or 5 years old. I've been doing it for a long ass time. So I can tell you for certainty that I know what I'm fucking talking about because I'm talking about from experience. It's like every signal prediction made by Stephanie Sterling was correct. Every signal one. The writing's on the wall. The writing's on the wall. It's been there for years, and nobody can see it. Like the conversation about digital distribution, we need to have this. We need to have it more because the more control you give these companies, to you, the more they're able to dictate how you should be able to enjoy something that you paid your hard-earned money for. The capitalists are seeking to control every aspect of our lives, including our downtime. Including our fucking downtime. It's like gamers are essentially fucking unpaid fucking playtesters now. I mean, why do you think a lot of games when they get released, why they're fucking broken pieces of shit? Because the gamers report, a glitch or a bug in a game. We're the one who are doing, or we're essentially playtesters now. That's what our fucking job is as gamers, for the most part. It's not to simply, pick up a game, put it, in our whatever thing we like to do, start up our PC or console, whatever we want to do, and simply fucking play it. Have we forgotten the simple thing? Pick up a game, plug it in, play it. Whatever happened to that? Whatever happened to that simplicity? And no, I'm not talking about a past that never existed for games. I'm talking about how I remember playing video games when I played games. You know what I needed? From Super Nintendo to PS2. You know what I needed? All I needed was a TV, a controller, and then whatever parts the system needs to plug it in the TV and whatever outlet you plug it into, a disc or a cartridge, put it in, play it. Hook it up and play it. That is what it meant to play games. It wasn't anything like elaborate. It wasn't like, I actually have to wait for like an hour or 2 or 3 hours to be able to play this game because my internet fucking sucks. For some people, you may have to wait 2 or 3 days to play a game that you bought. Depending on how fucking big the fucking file size is, or because of Sony's shitty freaking, infrastructure on their fucking PlayStation. Now, luckily for Nintendo, I never really had these issues when it comes to buying digital games because, their games usually download relatively quickly. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because it is relevant. I mean, the eShop situation, the digital distribution, because gaming has lost to be honest, what I loved about gaming. When I played a game, I miss simply just playing a game and not have to worry about if I'm going to have access to this game in the future, or if I buy this, how long will I be able to play it without permanently losing access to this game? It's like, this is one of the reasons why, I support piracy for in this digital age. Because piracy is the only way you're going to be guaranteed to play these games long past these consoles' expiration date. Now, the PC is a different beast, so I don't know much about PC. But the only thing I do know is this isn't as much of an issue on the PC because the PC, you don't have to worry about this as much because you have, unlike Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, you have more than one place you could get your games from. I mean, on PC, there's so many games you could find. Hell, there's people that are actually working on who do video games for free that just make them and have them available publicly. So there's an almost endless amount of games you can play on PC. Almost endless. You don't have that for consoles. You're stuck with one service. You can't choose to go anywhere else if you own that console. You're stuck with Sony's shitty, PSN freaking infrastructure that freaking loads like shit, takes forever to fucking download a game, and fucking potentially freaking and potentially, having your console crash because the PlayStation's fucking piece of shit fucking, infrastructure. I'm sorry. My PS4 that I had my hard drive recently got corrupted and I lost fucking almost 40 hours worth of, you know, content for a game that I played, and I'm just whatever. Digital distribution, I wouldn't be as against it as I am if we simply, had an actual say and ownership of our games that we buy, but we don't. It's a glorified rental at this point. I mean, there are benefits of, digital distribution. I'm not saying there isn't benefits. I mean, if if you're playing a portable console like the 3DS, digital is actually more convenient because you don't have to carry a bunch of games when you're walking around. If you want to, have some games you want to play, you don't have to, constantly switch cartridges to switch games. All you have to do is go to the menu, select the game, click play. So, in that essence, and the Vita too, digital is actually more convenient than physical. Same thing with the Switch as well. Physical is actually, digital is more convenient than digital. For handheld hardware, it's actually more convenient to have digital. PC, digital is more convenient than physical. Why? Because you can organize your files whatever way you wish. You have full control of how and when and where you can find your games. You don't have to, have a bunch of shit take up your desktop. You could put them whenever you want. And not to mention on PC, you don't have the limitations you do on consoles regarding hard drive space. So I'm not against digital distribution. Now on consoles, that's a different matter. Now, based on my experience with the PS4, digital distribution is a fucking nightmare. Considering, sometimes you can have games run, download really quickly. You probably would have to wait probably 20 to 30 minutes depending on the file size. And other times you may have to wait, if your internet connection sucks and you live in an area where the internet connection, is dog shit, you may have to wait hours, days to possibly download a game you bought digitally. And you might as well just have gotten the physical disc because you would have already, played it. And of course, another problem with this digital distribution also is patches. Because eventually, when these shops get shut down, you'll lose access to the patches. Now, if this is a game like Skyrim, why would anyone want to fucking play the PS3 version? I mean, you could play any other version and get a better experience. But there's games that have not yet to get a release on other platforms that patch is actually essential for those games to work, because there's a glitch, that's very difficult to avoid that gets patched out in later versions. Well, if the shop gets shut down, you're not going to be able to access that patch. Or if you have a fighting game, if you don't have access to that patch, you're not going to be able to have access to a lot of the game in some instances, because there's DLC. Fighters are a huge thing now in fighting games. And there's some games where the roster is actually bigger in the DLC side than what was originally in the game. I'm looking at you, Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. A good game, but the unfortunate fact is most of the characters are DLC. And if you can't get the patch, you're not going to be able to use those characters. Or let's say there's fighters in these games that have yet to get a release, you're no longer going to have access to, because the digital distribution, the game is cut, the thing is cut. You can't access that content either. So it's not just games; it's also DLC content that's actually, completes a game or adds to a game. And a lot of these games do not have complete editions. Now, the only reason I'm bringing this up, the only reason I'm saying this is like the Switch, eventually that will get shut down, God knows when. But the 3DS, there's a lot of games out there. Like, here's another example. I own this edition of this game. I only got it because I was lucky and I went to the GameStop, physically walked there because I couldn't get this edition. Fire Emblem Fates, for me, it may not be that great of a Fire Emblem game, but that particular game it's going to be difficult to actually play the full game because of the eShop shutting down. Now, why is this? Now, for those of you who don't know about Fire Emblem Fates, the 3DS game that was released almost half a decade ago at this point, Fire Emblem Fates did multiple versions of the game, like Pokemon, unfortunately, which were parts of the campaign. Parts of the game. Parts of the game was literally released in pieces. Like if you bought Birthright, you had to buy Conquest as DLC. And if the same also applies if you bought Conquest. So if you don't own, the special edition, which comes with all the pathways, you're locked forever in that cartridge with only playing one of those games. Now, Fates is not 3 games. It's actually 1 game. It's just there's 3 separate campaigns. And the pathway that's actually the one that's going to be difficult to access, if not outright impossible to access, unless you have a hacked 3DS or the special edition of the game, is this is Revelations. Revelations is not a good pathway at all in Fire Emblem Fates. In fact, it's the worst pathway of the game. So, in my opinion, it may not be much of a loss, but I feel like Fates in the first place should have never had, multiple versions of the same game, and I think every part of the game should have been accessed from the start. And also, the DLC for Fates and Awakening 2, there's stuff that adds to the game, lore, actually adds to the story, gives more context for certain events of the story. And that's no longer going to be accessed after the shutdown. Echoes also has DLC that actually takes, aspects of Echoes, and there's actually gives further context to characters, motivations. All this stuff will no longer be accessed without having a hacked 3DS that basically downloads all this stuff for free, which I don't care. I don't like showing my face. I prefer to actually do this. And the reason I haven't been answering you because I'm focusing on the topic. So sorry, I'm not ignoring you. Now I really do not want to show my face on camera. I'm not going to get into that. So I'm going to focus on the topic at hand. Now, eventually, the digital only future is going to happen. There's no denying it. But an even worse outcome for me is the cloud. The cloud to me is the worst thing that could possibly happen to gaming. Because the infrastructure doesn't exist for the cloud. I mean, if people have a difficult time getting an internet connection to download games, how the hell is majority of the people going to be able to play majority of the games when the internet connection fucking sucks? And I'm speaking from an American, standpoint. Like, let's say you live in the middle of a butt fuck nowhere where the internet is fucking shit or non existent. You're locked out of games. So what are you gonna do? Oh fuck! Well, I guess I'm no longer gonna play video games because I just don't think the cloud's realistic. Now, for the cloud, it essentially is streaming a game on a device, you know, on a device that you have. Example, like Kingdom Hearts, like on the Switch, doesn't play natively on the Switch. It's streaming from another source. Now, I've seen Kingdom Hearts streamed, and it looks and plays like shit. Like, the cloud essentially depends heavily on your internet connection. You have to be connected to the internet at all times to be able to play games on the cloud. So, if you thought like a multiplayer game, let's say that you play has shitty internet connection and the like, let's say you play Super Smash Brothers Ultimate and you know everything's lagging like hell. Well, everything on the cloud is dependent on your connection. If you even with the best internet connection, the cloud is never going to beat a game directly downloaded on your console or a disc. PC gaming is in my opinion the best way to go. Honestly, at this point, considering you have far more options now. 3D now, all this stuff, the virtual console games, like I don't have I don't really care if it no longer is available on the Wii U. I mean, long before there was a virtual console, people have been playing games on emulators. Like, we've had emulators to play these games. We emulators have existed long before virtual console, and they'll exist after virtual console. So, games from NES, Super Nintendo, Genesis, N64, GBA, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, those games are so easy to emulate now, with the exception of the N64. Though there are some games that run well on the N64 that it's not as much of a consequence. DS, I there's still some stuff that you know that some kinks that have to be done to perfect DS emulation. Though I'm pretty sure like some of the games they have, I think you might be able to play. I don't know. I go on from a game to game basis when it comes to the DS. Then you have you know the Turbo Graphics. I think they have that. I don't remember. I haven't been on my Wii U in a while. You could emulate those games too. I mean, a lot of these games on the Wii's use Virtual Console and 3DS. You could find easy. You could find any one of those games in a few minutes. It's like it's not going to be a problem. It's when you get to Wii, it's when it's a problem because unless you still have a Wii, like in your like with that's been collecting dust for years, or you're not gonna be able to play those games. Though, with how easy the Wii is to hack, you probably can play those games, but without ever buying another one. So yeah, and you can emulate Wii games too. So if you have a PC, it's like for the most part, a lot of these games you can emulate. It's Wii U though is when things get really difficult because you know, there are some exclusive Wii U games, not but most people don't give a shit about. The only one that that is a cause for concern is Xenoblade X, because Xenoblade X has yet to get a port. So unless Xenoblade X gets a Switch port in the future or a port on one of Nintendo's future consoles, it's going to be a game that's going to become extremely hard to find. Um, Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD, I think those will get. I think they might get re-released or not because Nintendo doesn't want to release the best versions of Zelda games. I mean, they didn't. Instead of giving us the 3DS version of Ocarina of Time, they gave us the outdated N64 version, and it ran like shit when it first launched. And nobody can fucking tell me and convince me that Majora's Mask on the 3DS is inferior to the N64 version, considering the ability you could to save. No, anyway, I said everything I can say about this topic. Because what more can I say regarding the shutdown of the 3DS and Wii U? It sucks, but we all knew it was going to happen eventually. So, yeah, I don't really have much to say because there isn't much, and I don't like repeating myself. Though I might, bring up some other things like apparently, so apparently now I don't know. I'm just gonna. It might as well just bring this up briefly because it's fucking amusing and kind of pathetic. Last Jedi, haters are still complaining about the Last Jedi. I mean, I know this is just changing topic, but considering this is an open-ended stream, why not? Am I the only one that's sick and tired of hearing about the Last Jedi? Am I sick and tired of this topic? Every signal goddamn time, you know, everything is talked about in Star Wars or something not related to Star Wars. If there's something that's bad, it's compared to The Last Jedi. It's like I am so sick and tired of Last Jedi comparisons. I'm so sick and tired of hearing about The Last Jedi. I'm so sick and tired of hearing people like dissect. It's like, oh, The Last Jedi is the worst movie ever. Oh, The Last Jedi ruined Star Wars. Oh, blah 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 blah. It's like fucking this. It's so ridiculous. The Last Jedi freaking discourse has gotten to the point where it's fucking it's pathetic. It's honestly pathetic how in 2022 people still can't shut the fuck up about this god awful movie. I mean, fucking Christ, man. There's nothing special about The Last Jedi in terms of its shittiness. There's nothing special about The Last Jedi in terms of whatever it supposedly fucking did. Nothing special about it. Yeah, it may have subverted expectations. Who gives a shit? That's all it's known for. 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 It's like fucking Christ. I may hate The Last Jedi, but I respect it because it at least had the fucking balls to actually, do something new and try to chart new territory for Star Wars rather than just do what fucking Force the Nostalgic Awakens, Rise of Shitwalker, Mandalorian, and Book of Boba Fett are doing, constantly doing nostalgia pandering. It's like we can't fucking get past this fucking OT era because of the fucking Last Jedi. It's like it's like this discourse. There's no freaking there's no room for middle ground for The Last Jedi. You can't simply say this movie is bad, but there are some legitimate things about this movie that it does deserve some respect. No, we can't have that discussion. We can't have nuanced discussion. We can't talk with a rational, argument that, what, The Last Jedi may be a bad movie, but it did make some good points about the Jedi. It did make some good points about capitalism, war profiteering. It did actually, make some good arguments, against hero worship. it did make some, you know, it did actually it would boldly actually rejected the redemption archetype for that's known in Star Wars, one of the oldest tropes for Kylo Ren. It's like it deserves to be praised for the stuff that it does right. It does a lot more wrong, but there's the Last Jedi. At least Ryan Johnson tried. At least Ryan Johnson tried. Can fucking try to actually basically do something different. Because all fucking Star Wars fans don't want new things. Star Wars fans constantly want things never to fucking a never changing character, despite the fact that fucking even some fucking people who freaking supposedly fucking love the EU fucking can't accept anything changing for Star Wars. God fucking forbid you actually do something new and different. Oh my god, this is the worst thing ever. It's like The Last Jedi, and the people that defend the movie like it's their it's a fucking cult. The hate for The Last Jedi is a fucking cult. It's a literal cult at this point. There's like no room for nuanced discussion. You can't actually simply say, I disagree with Ryan Johnson, how he did this movie, but I think there's some things worth praising. Like, you can't do that. You can't even be someone who likes the movie and basically criticizes the unnecessary humor, the pasting, being like can be pretty bad at times. Like, there is no room to hate the movie, but actually acknowledge the good points, or like the movie but acknowledge the bad points. You can't be even in the middle where you actually think, okay, the movie's all right. Like The Last Jedi has basically become a political fucking debate. You can't even. It's like you can't even actually like the movie without fucking being attacked, or hate the movie without being attacked. It's fucking ridiculous. I'm so sick of this fucking debate. I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't contribute to the toxicity early in the Last Jedi backlash. I owe up to that. The stuff that I didn't say. I will owe up to that. That I did actually do some stuff that was toxic. I will owe up to that. But it's like almost fucking. It's like 5 years almost now. We're getting like we're in the like fifth year, and people are still like talking about this movie. I mean, serious Christ, people, get a fucking hobby. Like The Last Jedi is essentially a hate cult, and Star Wars, for me, the moment The Last Jedi came out in theaters was the moment where I fucking my disillusionment with the Star Wars fandom began, because there was nowhere to be seen where I could fucking where you could have a logical discussion. SJWs fucking arguing amongst themselves, fucking yeah. You either have to be like, it's one of the reasons I The Last Jedi is the main reason why I became so open when it came to my politics, because I didn't want to be labeled as a fucking right-wing nut job because I hated the movie, even though I was anything but right-wing at that time. But it just doesn't matter to these fucking people's logic. And if you hate the movie just like the right, you're still labeled as a fucking SJW, even though that doesn't make any sense. The Last Jedi is like the entire discourse is by a bunch of illogical, illiterate fucking children who fucking treat The Last Jedi like it killed their puppy or something. Oh God, don't get me started. Holy shit. Don't get me started on the discourse regarding like, the new Lord of the Rings show. Don't get me fucking started. It's like it's The Last Jedi all over again. Like fucking racism, fucking being people going fucking mask off regarding this fucking thing with freaking J.R. Token. It's like Fuck people. Token's dead. I don't know if I should tell you this. Token is dead. 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 So his opinions on whether a character is fucking white or whatever is irrelevant. Who gives a shit? Okay? Lord of the Rings is a fantasy world. A fantasy world. Fantasy. 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 Do you know what that fucking word means? It's a fantasy world. It's like, okay, the only thing I fucking hear like fucking people talk about regarding this J.R.R. Tolkien fucking thing is, oh, these characters are not being true to the lore. What do you mean? Oh, a black dwarf. Okay, what's the problem? Oh, they're not dwarves are supposed to have a beard and they're not supposed to be black. First off, who gives a shit? I'm just going to say this. This show looks like shit. It literally looks like shit. Okay? So no one's going to tell me that I fucking am defending this shit. I'm not gonna go and die on the hill that this show is good. It's gonna be great, and people who don't like it are racist. I'm not gonna say that because it looks terrible, and it being diverse is not the fucking reason why. I mean, fucking Christ. Okay, the main thing these anti-SJWs pay attention to is, oh my god, there's a black elf. What of it? Oh, Token describes them as being fair skinned. Okay, and what of it? They're not supposed to. They're fair skin. Okay, what does fair skin mean? I'm gonna look that up because I'm gonna look that up. What does fair mean? I'm gonna look it up because I have serious doubts. You guys know what that fucking shit means. I really am because I'm gonna fucking do it. Because I'm gonna look it up because I think people fucking should freaking. I'm gonna read the definition, out loud. Okay, I'm just gonna look it up. Fair. See, I mean, I just want to know what does it mean because okay, I'm just gonna read what it means. Yeah, okay, it is okay. Light skin. Okay, do these people not fucking realize there's fucking people fucking in who of African descent that have light skin? It's fucking ridiculous. It's just a white fucking supremacist dog whistle. It's like they actually think that fucking white people are the only fucking people that exist that have fair skin. It's like fucking Christ, people. Fucking Christ. And who gives a shit? Okay? Seriously, who gives a shit? It's fantasy at the end of the day. And you're going to see some of these same people do the same for Wheel of Time at some point. I'm surprised. And of course, you're already hearing the complaint. Oh, they've ruined Wheel of Time because it's woke. Yeah, Wheel of Time. I don't know, a series that has multi-diverse characters. It's like anti-SJWs don't give a shit about Token. They never have. They never gave a shit about Token. They're just using Token to push their fucking cultural war because they have nothing to fucking talk about. The culture war is the only thing that matters to them. Who gives a shit about this culture war? It's a distraction. Yeah, I'm talking about it, but I'm mostly doing it because people want to fucking hear about it. It's like, how many goddamn times do we have to fucking hear the same white supremacist argument or people covering their racism or their transphobia or their homophobia regarding anything like this? Oh, we care about stories. No, you don't. You see a woman and you fucking lose your fucking shit because a woman is present. You can't stand a woman being in a fantasy freaking role that's been primarily dominated by men. That's fucking what you people are complaining about. You're not complaining about stories.
That's fucking bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. It's horse shit, and fucking everyone who has a fucking brain knows it. It's like fucking Christ. What story are you referring to? As for the lore, I hate to break it to you, you dumb fucking anti-SJWs, but fucking Peter Jackson actually went against many things that were in the books of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. I'll repeat myself. Peter Jackson went against many things in The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. He went against many things that were established in the book. Clear. Peter Jackson even changed the ending to a degree in Return of the King by excluding Scarring of the Shire. He made changes to characters such as Aragorn, Faramir, Frodo. The relationship with Faramir and his father. They 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 added characters that didn't exist in the books. They There's the logic. We care about the lore. We care about the lore. Ignores all the changes Peter Jackson made from book to film. Now, I am not saying that I hate Peter Jackson's movies. I love Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. The Hobbit, I don't mind it. It just needed it just needed a trim. But you don't hear about these complaints. Like, and okay, what lore argument can be made against the new Lord of the Rings show? I have one that's valid. There's nothing that's really been written in the Second Age. Barely anything. There's no source material. Nothing. The show is set to fail from the very start because there's no source material. There's nothing. The First Age has tons of source material to use. Tons. You could do as an anthology if you wanted to do a show on the Silmarillion. But they don't have the rights to that. Thank God, I will say that. But still, the Second Age only has two things that you could literally do a show about or movies. You have the War of the Last Alliance and the Fall of Numenor. That's it. You don't have anything else to go on for the Second Age. So most of it you're just going to make out of your ass. And the people complaining, oh my god, they look at Galadriel. I think she's an armor, I believe. I don't fucking know. I couldn't even. It's like, okay. Have any of you guys forgotten that Galadriel in the books is one of the most powerful characters? Have you guys forgotten that? Have you guys forgotten she's one of the most powerful characters in the books? Okay. Oh no. We can't actually acknowledge that a woman is one of the most powerful characters in Tolkien's Legendarium. We can't acknowledge that. We can't acknowledge that. We can't acknowledge that. We can't actually acknowledge that. Galadriel is one of the most powerful characters. Yes, they could do a show entirely on Numenor, but Numenor and the War of the Last Alliance are the only things they can do things about. Not much of it has really been written. You may be able to do the history of Numenor all to its fall, and leading up to the War of the Last Alliance, you might be able to change things up a bit. But you can't. There isn't much documented about the Second Age because the Silmarillion was mostly the First Age. There's a lot of things you can do in the Third Age too. If you wanted to do I know there's a Lord of the Rings film that's being made, but that supposed to take place a few centuries before Lord of the Rings regarding the Rohirrim. That I wouldn't mind seeing that, considering the Third Age has a lot of shit that happens. You could do a lot of material in the Third Age. It's like, yeah. Yeah, and what's really ridiculous is, okay, anti-SJWs say everything's going woke. What the fuck does woke even mean these days? If it's like this hysteria about wokeness is ridiculous. What what makes something woke? Can someone please tell me what makes something woke? Is it is it a non-white person, being in a movie? Is it a trans person, and saying that they actually are trans? Is it a you know is it a gay or lesbian that's present? Is it a fucking freaking woman? Is it a non-binary person? What the fuck makes it? Is that all it constitutes? Is one of these things being present? And suddenly it's woke. It's ridiculous. Wokeness doesn't mean anything. Woke minus what it means as much as Nazi does, because that's exactly what it means now. It doesn't mean anything. Like, wokeness is just some stupid hysteria that the right wing talk about in order to avoid talking about serious issues, or like detract from serious issues. All they have to do to fucking get fucking people to actually ignore a real problem is, oh, this is just wokeness. Yeah, they don't even know what critical race theory is. Yeah, fucking the shit going on in Texas is sickening. Yes, exactly. Exactly. If it doesn't match the what is considered normal heterosexual men, and women featured, or even men in general, let's just be honest, it's fucking woke if it goes against the norm. It's like these people, all they complain about is wokeness. They don't complain about anything that means anything. They don't care that America is going to shit. Thousands are dying of COVID each day. You have 9/11s happening every day. You have a potential nuclear war that could potentially happen, and these people's main concern is, oh my god, Hollywood won't fucking stop injecting wokeness. Or the stupid fucking meme, go woke, go broke. It's like, yeah, whatever. And then you have fucking people that are trying to rewrite history for many franchises like Star Trek. Oh, Star Star Trek Discovery and Picard and Lower Decks, they're woke trash. What makes them woke? I challenge you. What makes them woke? Is because fucking, I don't know, they are staying true to the values of Star Trek? Are they are they like, oh my god, Star Trek actually is pushing for, oh my god, an a pro-socialist future? I don't know, something that's been in Star Trek since the original series in 1966? It's like, oh my god, Star Trek violates canon. Canon. I love that one. What anti SJW is when they talk about freaking, you know, when they talk about, oh my god, oh my, when they fucking say that fucking complain about politics in Star Trek. It's like, where the fuck have you been in the past 50 years? Oh my god, Star Trek. They were always, you know, I miss when Star Trek was about entertaining its audience, not preaching to them. Oh, I don't. Whoa, so we're going to ignore the anti-war messages in Star Trek, anti-fascism. We're going to ignore the critiques on poverty, the rising of homelessness, the rising of authoritarian police states. We're going to ignore that part of Star Trek, or the Star Trek that actually, you know, criticized, white supremacy at the height when America was even more openly racist in the 1960s, or have an interracial kiss that pissed off conservatives and when that episode aired. Or it's like, of course, and then try to claim, and of course there are people that actually say, they're trying to claim that Jadzia Dax isn't trans. It's like, bullshit. What the fuck do you think the Dax symbiote was? What do you think the Trills, who actually have a symbiote, who actually become joined? What the fuck do you think? How are they not trans? I mean, Jadzia has made it known throughout Deep Space Nine that she's been a father and a mother in all her lives. Like, you can't get any more trans than Jadzia and Ezri Dax. You can't be more trans. They are trans Star Trek characters have existed. And there's nothing wrong with that. And we're rewriting history that Star Trek was never, left wing, which is also bullshit. Considering Star Trek, it's constantly went against reactionary, views multiple times. Yeah, it's Star Trek has at times done reactionary shit, but then again, it's produced by capitalists. So unfortunately, they have to, sometimes take reactionary positions as when as all some when they also take left wing positions. Yes. Well, it still applies. There's a lot of I've interacted with a lot of Star Trek fans over the years, and a lot of trans people identify with Dax. They really do. So yeah, I'm just saying that you have Star Trek fans trying to rewrite history or injecting things in Star Trek that never was there, and acting like Star Trek having all this left wing stuff is a new phenomenon when it's never been new. I mean, is there things you could criticize Discovery for? Yes. But canon, come on. You're actually going to talk about canon in Star Trek? Really? Of all the things you're going to die on the hill on about why Star Trek Discovery and Picard violate Star Trek canon? It's like, canon, really? Canon is like one of the worst arguments you can make when you're talking about Star Trek. Star Trek, has contradicted itself so many damn times, I can't even keep track. I mean, the original series got basic historical facts wrong regarding World War II. It's like, and especially since Star Trek is supposed to take place in our future, they downplay the amount of people that died in World War II. I understand that they didn't have the full estimates yet at that point, but it's still wrong. It's still a plot hole in Star Trek. And these people also ignore how one of the actresses in Star Trek almost left because of the racist environment, but she stayed because of encouraging words from Martin Luther King Jr. So yeah, they will rewrite history, ignore the contributions of people that fought in these struggles, especially a woman that suffered racism, you know, in the 1960s with Star Trek. And we can thank Martin Luther King for why she stayed and why, you know, we were able to have that representation, even though I don't consider the original series the best form of representation, actually. But then again, it's a product of its time, the original series. It's just these fucking nerds can't handle the fact that the world doesn't revolve around them anymore. They expect the world to constantly revolve around these fucking fools. It's like, yeah, we should constantly, we should pander to like a demographic that simply does not exist anymore. Boomers fucking are, getting older. Why should we fucking pander to these kind of people? Like, the world is diverse. The world isn't just white Americans. That's not what the fucking world is. And these people that preach against diversity, they're just against, people that aren't white being part of these spaces. That's what this whole thing is about. It's about gatekeeping certain sects of people outside of these groups. That's what this whole thing is about. you know, yes, exactly. 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 That's all this thing is about. These people don't care about story. They don't care about canon. They don't care about characters or being true to characters. The thing that bothers them is someone that doesn't look like them, actually sharing an equal or bigger role than them in these things that they have engaged with. It's like, let's be real. Luke Skywalker, I love the character. He's one of my favorite fictional characters. A lot of these people that fucking claim that The Last Jedi ruined Luke didn't give a shit about Luke until, their stupid fan theories never came true. It was all about, they're just looking for things to attach to, taking the people that actually hated The Last Jedi for what they did to Luke in order to attach their bullshit. I mean, a lot of these fucking anti-SJWs quartering Jeremy, they're all fucking grifters. They don't give a shit about the stuff that they talk about. They just see it as a grift. Doomcock probably doesn't even care about Star Trek. There is a huge right-wing backlash against, adding, diverse characters in these stories, and they're just grifting on it. Deep Space Nine, had the show been released today, would have gotten tons of backlash today. It would have been called woke trash because, oh my God, why are they making it political? Oh my God, why, it's like, why are they adding a gender fluid character in Star Trek? This is not Star Trek. These same arguments you're hearing about Discovery, Picard, Lower Decks would have been used against Deep Space Nine and Voyager for having a diverse cast. Because if you look at the cast of the original series, there are a lot of they're mainly white. The Next Generation, I love The Next Generation. It's one of my favorites, shows. A lot of the cast is white. Deep Space Nine, you started to see a more diverse cast. Voyager, I'd argue, was probably the most diverse cast up until that point. And then you had Enterprise as well, which was more diverse than that. It's like things progress. It has to reflect the evolving demographics. And it's ridiculous how everyone fucking likes to act like this diversity in Star Trek is a new thing. It is not new. It is not new. It is not new. It never has been. I love Star Trek: The Next Generation. I, I respect the original series. I actually prefer, the other shows that came after it, but I enjoy the original series for what it is. I'm about halfway through Voyager. There's some parts of it I like and parts of it I don't like. Like there's good and bad in all of Star Trek. And I have not seen Lower Decks yet. I'm not going to see anything new Star Trek until I've seen all the stuff pre-Kurtzman. I mean, there's a lot of fucking episodes in Star Trek. There's a lot of episodes. So the newer stuff I'll see afterwards. It's like Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. With what they expected, they expected Luke to freaking be big and muscular, to flex his muscles, fucking take on the First Order, like you said in The Last Jedi, with a fucking lightsaber, and single-handedly destroy the fucking, Empire. They wanted a fucking power fantasy. That's what they wanted with Luke. They didn't want a story. They didn't want to explore, Luke's humanity. They didn't want to explore, how someone, who previously fought in a war, how that war could have actually, traumatized him, or how, what happened with his father traumatized him. No, let's not explore, what war does to a person. Let's not actually do something with Luke. Let's not actually, make him into a more of a three-dimensional character. Yeah, what I'm suggesting is not what EU Luke would have gone through, but it would have been an acceptable change to the character. It would have been acceptable. It would have been acceptable because if we had a broken man that has lost everything, no, they don't want fucking they don't care about Luke Skywalker. They never have. They never wanted Luke Skywalker to be a fully realized human being. They wanted Luke Skywalker to be, just to be their power fantasies. Hell, they don't even care about EU Luke either. Who does actually change over time, who actually becomes wiser over time, who actually becomes even EU Luke is not the same Luke from Return of the Jedi. Whether it's exploring Luke's humanity through, seeing him struggle, in rebuilding the Jedi and Legends, or seeing Luke Skywalker, how he ends up in The Last Jedi, but actually, giving him full context. It's like they don't care about Luke. I mean, they cared more about Han, before they cared about Luke, but they only care about Luke because they wanted Luke to be a power fantasy for them. That's what they wanted. They had this stupid, unrealistic, expectation for Luke Skywalker. That's what they fucking wanted. They didn't care about Luke. They never have. If they truly cared about Luke, they would have said something in Force Awakens. These people are sheep. All these people who are complaining about The Last Jedi now, they are sheep. Sheep. And like good little sheep, freaking they absorbed Force Awakens, fucking attacked anyone that had anything negative said against Force Awakens, and when their stupid fucking opinions fucking could no longer be defended, they could no longer defend Force Awakens, and they fucking were forced to fucking accept that The Force Awakens was a fucking piece of shit of a movie, and they couldn't fucking try to fucking hide it anymore. So fucking rather than be a man enough to admit that they were wrong about Force Awakens, they just fucking doubled down on their fucking fanboying, only being from the hateful, perspective. It's like, good fucking God. Yeah, I know I've been ranting about fucking anti-SJWs, but it's just anti-SJWs just don't give a shit. They never have given a shit about entertainment. They never given a shit. They're just a bunch of self-absorbed fucking narcissists that fucking do not fucking want, anything to fucking change. They see, they fucking see everything in a black and white way. They refuse to actually see that they're fucking culturally fucking backwards, who are fucking pushing their political bullshit, because they're fucking a bunch of sad and miserable fucking people who like fucking blame fucking people who are powerless for their fucking problems. That's what these fucking anti-SJWs are. There's a bunch of they're just fascists that fucking don't have the fucking balls to basically outright admit that they're fascists. And no, hating The Last Jedi doesn't make you a fascist. I mean, I'm a hardcore communist and I fucking hate The Last Jedi. No, it's how you react. I mean, you have some of these idiots that are comparing what's going on in Ukraine to The Last Jedi. I wish I was joking. I wish I was joking. I wish I was joking. Like, I don't know. Oh, people in Ukraine are dying, because of, from a combination of, Putin's government invading Ukraine to the NATO, backed Nazi government in Ukraine. It's like both sides are fucking killing fucking people. You have people who are exchange students in Ukraine trying to flee the country, suffering racist violence. It's like this is a fucking ugly fucking picture. And no, these anti-SJWs with their self-absorbed, narcissistic, sociopathic, bullshit have to fucking chime in on a fucking movie when fucking people are literally dying. I'm sorry. I just fucking hate these people. I fucking really hate these people. They represent what, the average American is. A bunch of narcissistic, self-absorbed, entitled people that think the fucking world owes them something. That's what they fucking are. That's exactly what these people are. They get pissed off when you get political, and their idea of, oh, you're too political is, oh, you're challenging what I believe. These people fucking are stupid. There's no rational thought, put in any of these people. You could fucking explain to them, break it down to them, just how batshit fucking crazy they are, how wrong they are, how backward their ideas are. You could break it down. You could fucking be red in your face and fucking and say that they're wrong, and they still won't fucking admit that they're fucking full of shit. That's exactly what these fucking people are. That they claim that they care about the one thing and then do the exact opposite. They it's like, I mean, I can't believe I'm bringing this up. It's like I almost forget there ever was a movement to begin with. But the Give Us Legends movement, what the fuck happened to that? Like, as soon as they got into this fandom menace shit, like, I don't even hear about Give Us Legends anymore. I mean, that's just fucking how irrelevant, that movement is. Like, holy shit, I had to try really hard to think about it. Like, The Last Jedi, like, and the SJW discourse in general regarding any form of entertainment, it's like it's impossible. Like, you can't have any rational thought on anything. The Lord of the Rings show that's coming out, you know, no one's gonna be paying. None of these fucking people are gonna pay attention to, how this show is how terrible the show is. They're not even gonna talk about the acting, the CGI. They're not gonna talk about any of that. They're just gonna rant about arbitrary shit. They're gonna talk about the diversity, and they're gonna talk about whatever bullshit that they're gonna pull out of their fucking ass because they have no fucking arguments. They're incapable of fucking actually criticizing entertainment from a non-fucking racist lens. I'm just go on a limb here and say this. What I've seen from the Wheel of Time show, I saw the first 5 episodes because I had to cancel Amazon Prime for whatever, I'm not going to discuss my reasoning. It had a lot of problems. I mean, but I didn't think it was nearly as bad as a lot of people said it was. And I don't think it's even comparable to the Lord of the Rings show. It really isn't. Yeah, there are people that are doing that. There are people that are actually comparing Ukraine to The Last Jedi, or making a joke about it. That at least Ukrainians can't watch The Last Jedi. It's like The Last Jedi is literally part of these people's entire identity. That's exactly what this is. They can't picture a time where The Last Jedi will no longer be discussed. They cannot picture a time where in the future it could probably be it could probably be 2000 in like 50 or whatever unspecific date, like the world's like the last of the humans about to die, and whoever survived, the last survivors, they'll fucking likely in this scenario still talk about how awful The Last Jedi was, and that'll be the last thing they'll say before the last of humanity is dead. That's the extent of these fucking people, their obsession with this movie. You literally have fucking people that have over 1,000 videos on one film. It's like, holy shit. How can you How much time do you have to have on your hands to do that? Fucking Christ. As for the Arkham series, I think they're fun. I think the first 2 games are fun to play. Arkham Knight could go to hell. It's awful. Force Unleashed 2 is garbage. Then again, I'm not a fan of the Force Unleashed in general. And I'm not going to get into that in a stream like this. I'd have to do it in my own video why I don't like the Force Unleashed, but because it's not relevant here. And I just don't want to edit that as a separate, video related to Star Wars. Anyway, oh shit. I've been ranting about almost 80 minutes. Yes. Oh god. I never knew what the word woke was until 2019. I never knew what woke was. And I sort of got, if I have to hear about this movie is just like the blah 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 Last Jedi. It's like none of these people have an original thought. None of these people can think for themselves. If you actually look at things clearly, it has the same copy and paste opinions over and 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 over again. They're fucking NPCs. That's exactly what these, anti-SJWs are. They all think alike. They all talk the same. They have no fucking diverse opinions, despite evidence to the contrary. It's like, I'm sorry, but if you're going to claim that there's a diversity in thought, when your idea of diversity is agreeing with everything you guys say, you don't know what diversity is. You never been outside your echo chamber and actually argued with people. It's like, literally, I debate people all the goddamn time. We're on that. You guys wouldn't last 5 seconds in a communist group. You get fucking shredded and fucking sent back to your fucking what your parents, your wife, whatever. You guys would never last. You guys are incapable of having a rational discussion, a rational thought, because being rational is not, what you guys are pushing for. You're anti-logic, you're emotional, you act like fucking, everything is fucking, worse than it actually is. It's like you guys are incapable of fucking thinking for yourselves. If you're able to think for yourself, you'd realize Geeks and Gamers is fucking playing you for a fool. Young Rifa thinks you're an idiot. The Quartering thinks you're an idiot. Doomcock thinks you're an idiot. These people, these fucking middle class fucking, all these fucking people, they don't fucking care about you. They think you're stupid. And you know what? They're probably right. I mean, if they could say whatever stupid, ridiculous nonsense out of their mouth, regardless if it makes any sense or not, well, guess what? You guys are fucking stupid. If you still listen to Geeks and Gamers to this fucking day, you're a fucking idiot, and you deserve to be fucking called an idiot. If you actually still believe that Geeks and Gamers actually believes the stuff that he believes, he doesn't. He's a fucking grifter. Oh my god, we want to get politics out of entertainment. Brings Alex Jones on his show. Yeah, Alex Jones. What the fuck does Alex Jones have to do with fucking Star Wars or Hollywood? What the hell does he have to do with it? It's like, Jesus. It's like, I know. I'm just doing this because, why not? And of course, you've seen some of these people talk about Ukraine, which part of me is like tempted to fucking react, though part of me probably doesn't want to dignify exposing myself to such stupidity. So I'll probably just not. I mean, if you compare Geeks and Gamers and the fucking cult of the Fandom Menace to fucking Caleb Moppin and Haas, and they would say the Infrared Cult. The Fandom Menace and the Infrared Cult are so much alike, it's ridiculous. I mean, then again, to be honest, Haas, you can at least laugh at how stupid he is. I mean, Haas is a fucking moron. I might show you guys a video because what the hell? Because it's fucking funny. How stupid Haas is. Plus, it gives a chance to rest my voice for a few minutes because I've been talking almost nonstop for like over 80 minutes. So, yeah. All right. Just give me a second, gentlemen. All right. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. It's just, you have to watch it. I have to show you this. I mean, fucking Haas is a fucking idiot. Haas is a fucking idiot. You, like, I gotta show you this. All right, Haas is a fucking idiot. I gotta show this. I'm just showing a highlight from Bad Infinata because why not? It's fucking funny. All right. Okay, guys, you ready? Here's some fucking funny shit.
I did want to talk about has this fucking hilarious post to me. Hold on. We're gonna go over it all. God, it's amazing. I love him. He's so awesome. Story is, if you don't know, like a couple of months ago, I believe, Has got banned for like he dedicated like a 2-hour long stream to yelling at me. And apparently at some point during the stream, he thought that I was in there watching. So he went on like a crazy fucking rant about me. And it was incredible. Let me show you. You're not prepared for this. You're not prepared for how awesome this is, how incredible this fucking dude is. Like, this is the most insecure human being you will ever see in your life.
Bitter El Panada's watching. I know this little fucking pussy is watching. I know this little fucking bitch is watching, Bitter El Panada. I know you're fucking watching, you little fucking pussy. You know you're fucking live to dude. I rip you to fucking pieces, right? You know I'd fucking take your fucking manhood like I already have. You little fucking ugly, disgusting blood. Fuck! You little short piece of shit. You fucking come up to my fucking chest, and that's saying something, because I'm just a dude with average fucking height. You are literally in every single fucking way inferior to me.
The best part is coming. He literally says, "Women love me." Like he's almost crying. It's awesome.
A fucking man. I'm better looking than you. I'm more charismatic than you. More entertaining than you. Women love me way more than they will ever.
What kind of person says women love me? That's definitely a guy who's loved by women. This is like Vladimir Putin levels of insecurity.
The thought, the consideration, and you're a fucking sex pack and fucking moved to Argentina to get some easy pussy because you're in a third world fucking country and you came from a first world country, and these women are still fucking.
It's always funny to me because these people not realize that Argentina is a country where like 70% of people are white. Argentina is whiter than the United States of America. I'm not special here. I'm normal. Jesus Christ.
Coming away from your ugly, disgusting, dirty fucking dwarf ass. You ugly, disgusting scum fuck.
Ugly, disgusting scum fuck. Another funny thing is like, Haz and me look very alike. And like he's insulting how I look. Does he think he's like an amazing looking dude? Because if he's insulting how I look, he's definitely insulting himself. I mean, aside from the fact that he's like 50 centimeters shorter than me, we look alike. God, he's awesome. And he's sincere here too. I'm better lookinger than you. Women love me. Like, women love. I mean, that needs to be a soundbite. That needs to be a soundbite.
I'm better looking than you. I'm more charismatic than you. More entertaining than you. Women love me. Way more than they will ever even give the thought to consideration.
Women love me. Who says that? Hold on. There's a new sound alert, by the way. I added it a couple days ago. I just remembered. It's a very good one. It's relevant to this. It's for money though. You got to pay money for it because I'm a grifter.
It's piss? No!
Where's the has its piss clip? Gotta find that. It's piss? No! This one is fucking awesome. This one is incredible.
How's
This
discovering
one-
squirters?
This is the guy who like tries to claim that he's some sort of massive sex having Chad.
How's discovering squirters? Pee? Literally, you're stupid. Squirting is pee? No, it's not. Or is it? Is it?
Is it?
It's piss?
I love how sincere that is. It's piss? Oh my god. Okay, he's not playing a character. This is real. This is 100% real. That gasp. Chef's
It's piss? No! I'm done with women. How's the
Oh my god. Haw's a fucking idiot. I can't believe people take that guy seriously. The only thing he's good for is to fucking laugh at. Oh yeah, B level. The USSR 2! It's coming, folks! USSR 2! Oh yeah, look at me! I'm E level. I suck the dick of Haas, and I have no original thought of my own. I mean, my channel wouldn't be anywhere if it weren't for, the people that I constantly shit on, like Darth Sinovia, Jason Unruh, Danky, and Trav. I mean, I'm an ungrateful little fuckhead that actually stabbed everyone in the back that actually helped made me as big as I am. I also stabbed the back of the guys that actually helped me make my channel. So yeah. And I'm gonna delete all my best videos that featured, the half of Ewoks that people actually liked. That's me. I'm B level. I constantly need guests because I have no original thought and nothing interesting to say of my own. I'm B level. I have a channel named Ewoks Unhinged, yet I have nothing to do with actual Ewoks. There's no Star Wars content. I'm just a grifter, just like I always have been. I've been a grifter in everything I've ever did. I'm V level. The only thing I know how to do is grift. I can't have original thoughts of my own, and I change my opinions on the fly when it's convenient because I'm an opportunist, revisionist fuck. Is this immature? I don't fucking care. Fuck V level. He probably says worse shit about me behind my back than what I've just said. Haas didn't win anything against Jason. V-Level's a fucking moron. All Haas did was make himself out to be a fucking idiot. Anyone that actually thought Haas won that debate with Jason is a moron. No. He did not refute. To win a debate, you have to, you actually have to actually make a point. At no point in that debate was there any rational fucking discussion in that debate. You know what every debate with Haas is? It's just a shouting match, shouting over your opponent, insulting them, making fun of them, taking them out of context, or putting words in their mouth. That's fucking Haas. That's what fucking Haas is. fucking, Be Liberal has no original thoughts of his own. I mean, I'm the fucking reason why, Ewoks on Hinge exist in the first place. I'm the one that came up with the name. I'm the one that actually suggested he connects with Caleb, Jason, Luna Oi, and whatever guest that he had before we had a falling out. Most of it was my suggestion. He would have never done this stuff on his own. He is incapable of original thought. You have to basically tell Be Liberal how to think. It's like, I wish that debate with Be Liberal and Danky King happened. If it happened, Danky King would fucking smack that little fucking, rat and fucking put him in his place. That's because, that's what I would have loved to see. If it ever did happen, I would fucking watch it. I really would. It's like, and no, I'm not bitter over the fallout with me and B-Level. I would, maybe a little bit because I've wasted years of my time and been screwed over. But I'm in liberty to make fun of him when I feel like it, because I mean, what can I do at this point? At least it'd be more honest if he actually changed the name, but let's not talk about Be Liberal anymore. Wait, what? What? Are you fucking serious? What? That's funny that he says that. I mean, have you guys look at fucking Haas? I don't see a masculine man. I just see some fucking soy boy who is insecure about his masculinity. And no, I'm not going to take that back. I don't care if Haas takes this shit out of context. Fucking, he's a fucking soy boy and a fucking bitch. He actually thinks he could he thinks he's tougher than he actually is. Like, the only thing Haas is good for is laughing at. He's a fucking joke. Anyone that actually, it's like, yeah, this is the guy all these fake leftists are claiming is a Marxist Leninist. Yeah, a guy that constantly talks like a fascist, dogs whistles the fascist, constantly fucking makes an ass of himself. I mean, how can anyone say he's won a debate at all when he constantly makes himself look like an idiot? The guy's a joke. And not to mention the guy fucking, he's a fucking pedophile, just like Vosh. He was, I mean, when you're actually saying something about, the looks of a minor, I maybe suspect that you may be a pedophile. It's like Jesus. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna use Ayn Rand, argument against Jason regarding land back, then I guess that argument, you might as well say that about Palestinians. I mean, the same people that say there was no one here when the land was taken is essentially the same fucking argument that Zionists say about fucking Palestinians. I wouldn't be shocked for a second if you see these people support Israel and claim that Israel is a fucking socialist, because Haas says some fucking stupid and lambastic shit. I would love, one thing I'd love to see a debate with Haas and Ben Shapiro. I hate them both, but it'd be pretty entertaining to see those two argue. I mean, imagine Haas calling Ben Shapiro a soy boy. Give me some funny shit. Oh my god. Oh god, that cringe. Holy shit. I mean, you could make an entire fucking video called stupidest things that Haas says, and you would not run out of material. You couldn't do it. Doing a video, doing a compilation of the stupidest and funniest shit Haas has said, and I'm not saying funny because I think it's haha that is funny. No, I say funny because he thinks he says is so stupid he can't help but laugh at his stupid ass. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I mean, things are really serious right now, though. In all seriousness, though, fascism is rising everywhere around the country, and people don't seem to realize that fucking, Trump and his supporters fucking mean business. They really do mean business. Like when Trump says about a waking giant, what does that tell you? Forget it. I'm actually going to play that clip of the speech because I think people need to hear that. Because I think leftists need to be aware, need to be prepared of what is coming. Because, the left in America are not ready, for what's to come. We are not ready, not even in the slightest. Considering the amount of shit we have to deal with, the amount of fascism, they're itching for our blood and just itching, and we need to be organized. Sorry, I'm just looking for the clip because I think it's important that we all see, that everyone sees it. Okay, Socialism for All has the clip. So I'm just going to show it from Socialism for All's channel. Everyone should see this because Trump is serious. I don't think Trump has a chance in winning, but this should tell you what the Republican Party, how fucking batshit crazy the Republican Party is and how far right the Republican Party is at this point. All right, it's time that you guys see this. All right, it's about a minute long, a little over a minute, but I think it's relevant. I will not say anything for the next, minute or so. So listen, everyone, because we all need to be prepared for this.
The radical left has exposed their weak and their pathetic policies have been out there long enough now that we don't want them, we'll never take them. We are bringing back our country and we are bringing back our freedom. The socialists, globalists, Marxists, and communists who are attacking our civilization have no idea of the sleeping giant they have awoken. We are a sleeping giant. They cannot even begin to imagine the brave and righteous spirit they've unleashed in men and women like all of you here today, and this is some crowd. We broke the record again. We broke the record again. But they're going to find out the hard way starting on November 8th, and then again, even more so, on November 2024, they will find out like never before. We did it twice, and we'll do it again. We're going to be doing it again.
Yeah. We got to be very careful, guys. And the fact remains is the Moppin cult and Oz, they are downplaying the rise of fascism in this country. Like them muddying the waters regarding, fascism, what is fascism, what isn't fascism, who is a fascist and who isn't, is one thing we got to be concerned with. Now, I do not think Trump is going to actually be able to become president again. I don't think that's going to happen. But it doesn't change the fact that the mindset of the Republican voter base, they're fucking crazy. These people are out for our blood. They want us all dead. It doesn't matter if you're moderately to the left. It doesn't matter if you're even moderately to the right. In America, where we're heading to, if you're not right wing enough for these people, it's all the same to them. They're pushing the Olson window so far rightward that there's going to be no room for moderation. You're not going to be able to be a centrist in the upcoming, decade in America. There is no room. At this point, we have to make a choice. I'm not speaking to those here because they already know what we're up against, but I'm speaking for those who don't know or are undecided. You're going to have to make a choice on, do you stand for the fascists or against them? Because fascists don't care if you're moderate. And American fascists are psychopathic, bloodthirsty, trigger-happy people that are just looking to kill you. They don't care if you're moderately left or you're moderately right. If you're not right-wing enough, they want you dead. It doesn't matter. And I think, the very fact that you have the likes of Caleb Maupin who is downplaying, fascism, the rise of fascism in America and cozying up to fascists, the fact that we have people like that, and Caleb Maupin is not an isolated incident. There's others like him. It's this threat is becoming real. Soon you're not going to be able to escape the reality, that fascism is in this country. And we're not ready. None of us are ready. None of us are ready. Like, I don't know how much longer I will be able to do something like this or talk about these sort of issues, because I could talk about these until I'm blue in my face. It's not going to do any good unless I'm outside and actually organizing. We need to. I feel like I would like to do more, and I think we need to do more. We need to be mentally, physically prepared for what's to come. I know the midterm elections, it's going to be a fucking massacre. The Democrats are going to be absolutely obliterated. They're not going to win. The Republicans are going to win overwhelmingly. And it should be obvious. They haven't done, the Democrats doing what they always done. And nothing's going to change. Sorry if this stream is pretty much ending on a somber note, but I don't have much more to talk about. And I'm losing my voice, and I can't continue, for much longer, considering, I can't talk for 2 hours straight, So I'll just say this regarding the ending, the topic that I was ending it on. We need to get ready for what's to come. And we need to be wary, of the kind of people that we talk to. Like because, it's very easy to get fooled, because I used to think Caleb Maupin was not a bad guy, that actually had good motivations. He actually did want to actually do things that's positive. It actually did want to help, the American people. But what I've been seeing from Caleb since the falling out him and Jason had, I've been seeing Caleb becoming more and more openly right wing, to the point where I hear Caleb Maupin and I hear a Republican, and I don't see that much of a difference. Caleb Maupin's like basically talking like a neocon regarding what's going on in Ukraine. Oh, how you cannot, you can't support either side, that you're a coward if you do so. No, I actually think you're a coward if you mindlessly support one side over the other, because it's not popular to be against both the Ukrainian government and Russia. I think if you're tolling Caleb's line, you're just a fucking you're no different than a neoconservative, Caleb. Don't fucking lecture, people that refuse to side with a fascist country, because you think it's in your own twisted mind that it's anti-imperialist, even though fucking Putin said, fucking blaming Lenin for Ukraine. You basically lying about history of the Soviet Union, talking about fucking nationalities like they're a fucking bad thing, they shouldn't exist. It's like, no, fuck off. And we got to be very careful, because Caleb Maupin, it's very easy to be fooled by the likes of Caleb, because Caleb Maupin, he will lie and mix it in with some truths. So the likes of Caleb Maupin, what he's doing is actually distracting us from the real issues. BreadTube is like not even important. We need to stop talking about BreadTube, stop talking about Vosh, stop talking about Xanderhall. Who gives a fuck about these people? We don't fucking need to hear like, oh yeah, well, I was right because my shitty book that I wrote says they support imperialism. I'm sorry, Caleb, but I think any rational person came to that conclusion by, I don't know, listening to their points, what they said, their actions. If you ask me, you're fucking using BreadTube as a distraction for people talking about real issues, like you bringing fascists into leftist spaces, like you introducing fucking reactionary ideas and trying to pass it off as communist, or distorting history in order to push your reactionary agenda, or pushing neocon talking points except from a Russian perspective. And you know what? I don't fucking give a shit if you cry me a fucking river, Caleb. Like, oh, crying that, oh yeah, Twitter's listed you as Russia affiliated media. You fucking are. You speak on the behalf of the Russian state. I've not seen you once criticize Putin for his act of aggression in Ukraine, or what Putin does in his own country domestically. Not once. And fuck, Alexander Dugin's a fucking fascist. Like his way of thought is spreading like a virus worldwide. We fucking don't need this fucking, bullshit, fucking Nazi Naz bullshit that's passing up as communism. It's not communism, it's fascism. Enough. We don't need that fucking shit. When I hear you, speak, you claim that everyone slanders you. You slander every one of your critics. You reduce a complex issue in Ukraine as a black and white issue, just like fascists do. Fascists look at the world in black and white. If I don't support, fucking Putin invading Ukraine. I support imperialism. Fuck you, Caleb. Fuck you. This entire fucking war with Ukraine's fucked. It really is. The people of Ukraine, foreign exchange in Ukraine are fucking suffering because of fucking Nazis. Doesn't mean yet no mention of Russia's Nazis, no mention of the fucking fascists and Putin's government. No, let's only talk about Ukraine, but ignore, the fascists in Russia. And I don't have much more to say about this. Fuck Russia, fuck Ukraine. Death to fascism, death to imperialism. Long live the proletariat.